stoned and throwing back beer, then heading to the factory to build your car. We showed you this video last week of Chrysler auto workers getting loaded on their lunch break. Our next guest says this isn't out of the norm, though, and she saw it all happen at GM, too.
Lori Roman is the founder of Regular Folks United and a former GM supervisor. Lori, you're not surprised. What are some of the other things that you have seen in your work?
No, I'm not surprised. Although many Americans were probably shocked, I think most people in the auto industry would just recognize that as a lunch break.
You have more examples?
Yes, we do. When I was there as a supervisor, I had a situation where I had union workers that brought in a prostitute in a motorhome during lunch. She came out and danced for the guys, and then she took them into her motorhome one after the other. And because the union work rules are just so crazy, when I tried to write the guys up, I was told, one, they hadn't broken any union work rules, and two, since they were on their lunch, the only thing that I could do was escort the prostitute and the unauthorized vehicle off the yard. That was it. The guys didn't get in any trouble. No one got written up. That's just an example of how crazy the work rules are and how the union defends very bad behavior.
I mean, it's amazing to hear that story, Lori. It makes me sick to my stomach. You were a supervising a rail loading dock. You have another example of where one of the employees would clock in, but you couldn't find him anywhere until you finally called him at the bar.
Well, that happened a lot. Guys would clock in, or they'd have a friend clock in for them, but you couldn't find them on the job. This particular fellow, his work area was 5 foot by 5 foot. Not hard to see that he wasn't on the job, but you have to go through all kinds of rigmarole according to the union rules to prove that he's not in the 5 foot by 5 foot area. After hours of getting the witnesses and doing all the documentation, I got tired of it. I knew where he was. I paged him at the corner bar. He came to the phone. I wrote him up. I gave him a disciplinary layoff, unpaid. But after 30-day disciplinary layoff, he came back and mocked me, and he said, "Thanks for the paid vacation. I really enjoyed the fishing." And I said, "Wait a minute, that was an unpaid disciplinary layoff." And he said, "No, but the union negotiated with upper management, and I got all my back pay." Wow. So you can see how difficult it was for supervisors to get any productivity in that setting. The work rules, right. A weak management and a too strong union is a recipe for disaster, Lori, and it's why the foreign car companies really do outperform.
So people listening at home might say, "Oh, it's a few bad apples." Lori had maybe a bad plan, but do you, in your estimation, and talking to other people, do you believe that plays into the entire scenario where the American car companies really have struggled over the last decade?
Well, I don't mean to imply that all the workers are bad employees. I come from a 4-generation union family myself, so I would never do that. But I would say that ridiculous union work rules and a strong union and weak management have created an overall culture that discourages productivity, makes it very hard to be competitive, and really protects very bad employees, and really doesn't do much of anything for the good employees.
Right.
It's an overall cultural
problem. During the structured bankruptcy of GM and Chrysler, the union still they hardly made that many concessions at all. And so that was the one time that maybe they could have really made some concessions and we wouldn't have seen some of this behavior.
They end up owning the company.
Yep. And in the meantime, here's the Chrysler statement. It should be clear that Chrysler Group will not tolerate such behavior and will continue to evaluate its protocols to ensure that something like this does not happen again. It is unfortunate that the actions of a few people have called into question the reputation of more than 51,000 very proud, hardworking Chrysler Group employees. And I'm sure that's true, Lori, but you also saw other examples yourself when you were working at GM. Lori, always great to talk to you and get your insight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.